Morning world, and welcome to Saturday 23rd of July 2022 and my mother's birthday. Did you find him? Dog's after a rat. Yeah, it's 7 months since I lost my mum last November, and I still think of her regularly. Still talk to her occasionally. Yeah, I think that'll be a while before that's kind of dulled down a bit. So today. I am hoping that the combine's going to get out on our OSR. We had plans to do it yesterday, but a knackered alternator bearing and then the rain kind of scuppered the plans for combining yesterday. So it wasn't worth the risk. When Reg got back from bringing the combine back from the other fields, the alternator was almost red hot. You couldn't touch it. It was that hot. The bearing was, well, when we took the belt off, there was 5 or 6 millimeter of rattle in the pulley. So that was just asking for a fire in the middle of a field, and we didn't want that. So hopefully today is going to be the day. The weather at the moment, bit of cloud, but plenty of blue in the sky. So fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed today is the day. Come on. Well, you look fairly contented, although I think another bale will be in order by the end of the day. We're giving them those rather, well, not the best haylage bales that we bought over a couple of months ago. The bales were spiked when they were bought over, and they weren't patched, so they are a little bit not the best, but we are only using them for a filler for a minute, so the dexters will pretty much live on anything. So we've reverted back to the round bale feeder in the shed because now we're restricted with space because of the straw and the hay. I thought it was better to put it back in there. I think he can get his head in the slots. Hoping, well, he'll find a way, I'm sure. But yeah, it's kind of freeing up the alleyway through, giving us a bit more space. But everybody here seems quite contented. I really do need to come in here and muck this out. But right now, it's not bothering them in the slightest. So the plan with these guys is, we got a TB test in actually only about 3 or 4 weeks' time. Provided we get a clear test, which touch wood we will, the plan is, if we've had some rain and there's some grass out here at the farm, the plan is that the young heifers that I cannot let the bull near will go over to the farm for about 8 weeks, which will give time for them to wean and the cows to dry up and everything else. It also means that Patrick can have at least a couple of months outside, at least a couple of months. And then when those calves come back, they will come in here, which means he can stay out for the time being. That's kind of the plan. It's all been turned on its head this year. TB, acquiring the bull, which we never thought we were going to. He was only supposed to come on loan for, we could have hired a bull for 6-8 weeks, but he stayed, which for him was good news, because although he's been shut in here, he's still breathing. His previous owners were, once I finished with him, they were going to stick him in the abattoir, they were going to put him in beef boxes. But we quite like Patrick, so he's staying. No more news on the tractor front, and I don't expect to hear anything before next week. So we've still got Massey Ferguson, Case, and now Kubota to look at. quite a few of you have said about Deutz Fahr. I had a look. Our nearest dealer is down Bridgewater Way, and that's like 53 miles away. It's too far away. If I want something with service backup and parts backup and stuff like that, I need something closer. I know you can get stuff overnight, but I need something closer. And it's things like if I have to call an engineer out and he has to do a 100-mile round trip, the cost of that. Whereas Chandler's is about 10 miles away, and so is Knockdown for TH White's. So the cost of getting an engineer out from either of those, vastly less. So no decisions made on tractors yet because I've only tried one type. So the T5 at the moment is well and truly the lead, but the cost of it I think could be prohibitive. Yeah, we'll see what Case can do. The equivalent Case tractor to the T5 is the Vestrum. I think is the Vestrum 130, something like that. So, which according to Marley is a different gearbox to the New Holland. I like the New Holland gearbox, so we'll see. It might just end up, this is an exercise of me looking at tractors and they're all lovely, and then I'll sit there at the end of it, when I've looked at every machine, and I've looked at all the angles, I've looked at the service costs, the service intervals, the warranty, running costs, a potential depreciation, all those things like have to go into lists and graphs and pie charts and whatever you want, and then I'll look at it at the end and I'll say, can't afford it. That's probably what's going to happen. And maybe we'll just keep this one because it's bought and paid for. I don't know. Or maybe we'll buy a used one and keep that one. Or maybe, I mean, there are so many different options as to how I could go with this. I would like to change that for a new tractor. I would like, but it's got to be economical. Financially economical, and it's not a case of, oh, I'll get YouTube to pay for it for me. That's not the thing. I don't mind any income from YouTube and the membership going towards it, but I don't want YouTube to buy machinery for the farm. It's got to be more for the animals. You know, I'd rather put another shed up or something like that. So this object or this operation or whatever you want to call it for a new tractor is basically to increase my comfort. So, which I would really like to do, but that is on the list of nice to have, not need to have. There's a big difference between those two. So it's something that took me a long time to learn. When I was younger, if it was nice to have and I could find the money, I had it. Nowadays it's turned tables. Now it's nice to have is if I've got that spare. We don't tend to have a lot of spare these days, so. But yeah, I think money is better spent some ways in stuff like buildings. Don't you think? Yeah, tractor is nice, and if I can, I'll do it. But I think some folks might have to sharpen their pencils a bit more. So, no harvest this afternoon. Reg and Andy came out this morning just to check on this. I mean, the combine's ready to go. We are ready to go with the combine, but apparently this isn't yet quite ready. I hope she's found something in there. She's making the noise of I found something. So apparently Reg said there's still some red pods or some red seeds. So I'm just going to grab a stick of, and we'll have a look, see what that looks like. What have you found in there? What's in there? What's in there? What's in there? It's probably a cat. What have you got in there? What's in there? What's in there? What's in there? You're going to be covered in sticky buds now, aren't you? Hey, what you got in there? Psst, come on, biscuit. Come on. Oh yeah, I'll be picking them off you for the next 10 minutes. I can't see any red ones. Then Reg might have taken a sample from somewhere else. Just a couple of pods I've crushed down And the seeds look alright, they look big enough. Well, there is one a bit red in there actually. So, alright. So, as it stands, it looks like combining's been put off a couple of days. So, we are looking at next Tuesday or Wednesday, and I've just spotted a ragwort. You gotta go. You are not staying there. Nasty, stinky thing. So, right, flowers are not yet setting, so they won't now. That cured him. So it kind of makes sense. Reg harvested his rape day before yesterday, but he did actually get his in 2 weeks before us. So although I can't see it making a huge difference, the fact that there is 2 or 3 days more for ours to finish maturing, I don't mind that. The weather today is not really that good. We had a little shower just now. I think, to be honest, it wasn't really worth his while. Even if we hadn't had any red seeds in there, it wouldn't be worthwhile starting today because it had been stop, start, and the weather forecast for the middle of the week is better. So I'm just glad we put the pod stick on it. You up?